My goodness, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Our film's called Marigold. It's a short doc about legacy, inheritance, and what happens to stories whenever we don't ask people the questions we should.
Okay, I love it. I'm very intrigued. What inspired you to create this project?
I found a roll of 8mm film in my parents' attic a few years ago, and my mom was like, I don't know what this is. I had it developed, and it was 4 minutes of color footage from 1959 of our family farm. My grandfather fly fishing, my grandmother cleaning fish, my mom was 3, and I watched it, and there's a presence to the people that is remarkable, even though they were just ordinary people, and I found that I think it's very important that we start to ask the questions and get the stories so we don't lose them when the people are gone. And I got lucky finding this film, and it's inspired me to start actually filming more interviews with family members before I lose them.
Yeah, I love that. It's so funny that you say that because I was just talking to somebody whose film was also inspired by a box of old photographs. I think that's so beautiful. Memories and being able to hold something physical in our hands and getting inspired by it.
Yeah.
Was there anything really challenging about creating your movie? Anything?
I think this honestly all came together really quickly. I think I sat on the footage for 3 years, and then this summer I took a trip to Berlin. I called my mom, and she was like, your grandfather was in the Battle of the Bulge and everything. And a couple weeks later I started writing it, and 2.5 weeks later we had to finish film. The most challenging part for me, and I'll ask you, it was figuring out when to pause and when to let people sink into the footage and understand what was going on, and then when to talk. It was one thing to tell stories often, but I think the footage is powerful enough on its own. I had to figure out when to take those breaks.
So I was the composer for the film. And I think it really did. It was a film that came very easily, and Dusty has narration going through the whole thing, and there's a very natural cadence to the way that he talks, and it made it easy to write to because it was almost like there was already a tempo. So a lot of the score kind of fills in the gaps and the pauses, and it's a very almost wave-like score. So it was very inspiring and exciting to write to, and the footage is so nostalgic and beautiful that I watched it and I was like, oh, I can hear the sound of this. And I don't think we even did any edits on the score. I think I sent it to you and you were like, great. And I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Wow,
so
that is amazing.
Yeah, came together fast.
I love that. Music truly just transforms movies. It's so important, so powerful. Do you feel like this changed your creative process working on this project? Are you going to approach your work differently now? Either of you, anything that you did?
Everything that I've made has always been kind of rhythmic with music, and maybe that comes from my cadence. That's funny. It's certainly changed the way that I've always been a storyteller. I grew up around people telling stories, whether they realized they were doing it or not. And the projects that I want to do and where I want to go with them, this has definitely brought about I need to sit down with my dad and my mom and go through these stories and find the inspiration. So I think, if anything, it's brought about new inspiration on where I want to go and what I want to do.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me, you guys.